My cats are actively banging at the door now. I'm really beginning to regret my life choices. I'm here today with a non-book related video, and you're possibly asking yourself why I didn't upload this on another day. As I've previously said, if I'm uploading a non-book video, I will upload it on Friday instead of the Tuesday that I normally upload. However, this will slightly relate to books in a little way. You'll see how in a minute. So what I'm actually going to do today is talk about my top favourite horror movies, and then I am going to ask you for some book recommendations. See how I related it to books there. See how I did it. So anyway, these are my favourite horror movies, and the overwhelming theme is really the sort of film where not a lot happens. For example, films like The Conjuring and stuff like that, I don't find scary in the slightest, because you see too much. I think once you sort of see the ghosts or something like that, it becomes very non-scary and almost farcical in my opinion. So I sort of like the type of movie where you don't see a lot. And I'm aware that they're a sort of a Marmite type film. Some people really like that, some people really hate it, some people like to see exactly what's going down. So it's all personal taste really. But yeah, I'm just going to get into it. The first one that I'm going to mention, I don't actually have a copy of it, and it is called Creep. Now, if you followed Claire from the Book Fox for a while, you'll have probably seen her mention it. Well, she was doing a series talking about horror movies that she'd watched on Netflix, and Creep was one of them. And I remember speaking to her at the time saying that I thought it sounded really good, and because I didn't actually even have Netflix at the time, my internet was so bad. But now I'm part of the modern world and I've got Netflix, so I've watched Creep and I really enjoyed it. It's another found footage situation where someone has hired a man to document his life, because he says that he's on his way out. That's a really bad way to describe it, but he's dying, and he wants his life documented a bit for his unborn child. And so an unsuspecting gentleman answers the ad and turns up to this house to film this man, who appears to be getting creepier and creepier as the day goes on. And there's just a part in it where the man who's done the hiring, the one who says that he's dying, he puts on a mask, and I can't even describe to you how much that terrified me. If I was in that situation, I would have been so scared. And it's just little insignificant things like that that really frighten me, and so I really enjoyed that movie. So yes, that's Creep. So look it up on Netflix. It is a sort of a Marmite type film where you probably, if you like to not see a lot but sort of get the atmosphere. I prefer it where I can sort of imagine myself in that situation, but if you start seeing all sorts of crazy stuff going down, you can't really get into it. The next one that I've got goes against what I've just said, because you do actually see a lot in this one, but I'm just going to get it out of the way. And that is Signs with Mel Gibson. Now, this doesn't scare me at all. I don't find it frightening at all. And if you don't know what Signs is about, it's basically Mel Gibson in a house, which is terrifying enough. But it's Mel Gibson, and he's not Mel Gibson in the film. You know how acting works, don't you? Yeah, I'm sure you do. So Mel Gibson, house, middle of nowhere. I think he's a priest in it. He's lost his faith because his wife has died, and so he's living in this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, and then signs begin to arrive, which you can sort of see on the front of the DVD. It's crop circles, and they're appearing all over the place, and some people are really buying into these signs, some people are thinking it's a huge hoax, and it is really quite a good film in my opinion. It just builds up. It's got an unusual vibe to it with it being set so far into the country, and there's just something about it where I really find it entertaining as it unravels. Again, you do see quite a lot in this, so it's not really a sort of a scare fest for me, but it's more of a just the atmosphere, the build up. But if you're interested in the idea of aliens visiting and that sort of genre, then this might be one that you'd enjoy. I'd also like to apologise about the lighting. I live in Scotland, as I've said many times, and it has rained for the past few days, and I've been waiting to film a video, and every morning that I've woke up it's been absolutely pouring with rain, as it is now. I think it's just stopped, but it's still really clouded over, ready to rain again. So I'm going to learn from this and start pre-filming, I think, because every time lately I've been assuming that the weather will be nice because, you know, it's May. No. So yeah, that's why it's so orangey lit, because it's all lit with fake lights. Never mind. The next DVD that I'm going to mention is this one, The Fourth Kind. Again, it's about aliens. I find the idea of aliens with malevolent ideas visiting the planet really scary. This, again, I have seen some reviews of people absolutely slating this and hating in it. So what it is there is a psychologist, I'm not sure what it is, I'm not sure of the terminology, but she is talking to people who are having trouble sleeping, and she starts to notice that everybody's having the same sort of dream. And it goes from there, where she starts trying to regress people and go back into their subconscious and find out what's going on. And the found footage is really very, very well done. I don't know how they've done it. It looks so realistic, and I found the whole thing pretty creepy. The next one that I've got is this one, The Last Exorcism. I mention this dubiously because the ending is really shockingly bad. I hated the ending, it ruined it. But I enjoyed the rest of the film so much I've still watched it several times since then, because the rest of the film is pretty bloody creepy. It's about a man who is an exorcist, and he is going to do his last exorcism, cleverly named. And he goes to this farm where this girl is behaving in all sorts of weird ways and is doing all sorts of creepy things. And he is trying to delve to the bottom of it as to what's going on. Now, I'm not going to tell you what is going on, but what is going on is pretty weird, and I didn't really enjoy actually what is going on. But the build up to it's pretty good, so yeah, The Last Exorcism. Next, The Visit. I loved this. I told my best friend to watch it. My best friend watched it. She hated it and thought it was absolutely rubbish. So again, I think I've got a bizarre taste in horror movies. It's about two children and their mother. Their mother doesn't get on with her parents and she doesn't really see them anymore, but the two children that she has are now teenagers and they want to visit their grandparents. So the mother puts them on a train and sends them off to visit these grandparents. And the grandparents pick them up, and the grandparents turn out to be creepy. Very, very creepy. There's a part under the house which is like a crawl space, and they're playing hide and seek in there, and there's a part where the grandma's just suddenly in there and she's like crawling towards them, really weird, and I don't know what it is, but that frightened the life out of me. And yeah, I enjoyed this, and I didn't really see the twist coming. So like I say, take all of these with a pinch of salt, because I love them but other people I know hate them. So that's The Visit. And last but not least is Paranormal Activity 1, 2 and 3. The others after that are really rubbish in my opinion, but 1, 2 and 3 are scary. Again, it is the thing that I love is that you don't see anything. It's all implied, it's noises, it's little sort of footprints, it's things moving. That sort of thing really gets to me because, as I've mentioned before, but I haven't done a video about it, the house that I've moved into at the moment I consider to be pretty haunted, and I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't like talking about it in the house because it makes things happen. I've recently done a little post on my vlog about it, and I think I called it Top 5 Truths of Living in a Haunted House. But again, I haven't told too many stories about it because when I heard people talk about living in haunted houses in the past and haunted experiences and things, I always slightly thought to myself it was made up. And so when things started happening to me, I don't believe them myself. It's bizarre. I am constantly trying to rationalise the things that happened to me in this house. And again, like I say, I'm not going to go too much into it, but stuff like you'll go out of the house and you'll come back and all of the cupboard doors are open and all of the lights are on, or you'll get up in the middle of the night and all of the lights are on. But again, I'm not going to go into that because I'm not going to tempt fate and have weird stuff start happening to me now, but I will talk about it another day when I'm outside of the house. I'll take my camera and I will do a video for you all if you're interested. What I really like about Paranormal Activity is that it reminds me of some of the stuff that I've witnessed myself, and that's why I found it so scary. I mean, obviously I haven't witnessed to the point of Paranormal Activity because that would just be absolute crazy and I wouldn't come back in the house, but I have witnessed a hell of a lot of the sort of things that happen in this, and that is why it is so bloody terrifying to me. So that is Paranormal Activity. If you've watched that, let me know. And where I relate this to books, I haven't forgot, is that I'm going to ask now if you have any sort of paranormal style horror book recommendations, because a lot of the horror genre I find tend to be based on gore, and I'm not a gore fan. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable and I just don't really find it entertaining, whereas I do like being a little bit scared about things such as hauntings and stuff like that. I find that entertaining and I get my little sort of thrill scare from it. So if you've got any really good paranormal style books to recommend to me, I would really like to hear what you think's good. I've read a couple of true life hauntings since I moved here and started getting really interested in it. But yeah, I've read a couple of true life hauntings and I find those to be really scary, and interesting, and that's the sort of things I like. So if you've got any recommendations, please do leave them down below, and I'll speak to you all in my next video. Bye for now.